What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful fight fans across the world? And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how good would Fedor Emelianenko be in MMA today, man. And if this was any other guy that wasn't in the UFC, in any other division, I would be like, bro, he wouldn't even break the top 5. But we're talking about the heavyweight division of the UFC. One of the most shallow divisions of the UFC, man. Like, MMA Guru could be UFC top 15 in the next year if he trained, man. I believe that. But Fedor Emelianenko, he did beat a lot of good guys in his prime, and he's not that trash. He has good grappling, he has good striking, and I feel like he wouldn't do that bad, but not as good as some people glaze him. Some people would be like, oh, Fedor would be champion right now if he was in his prime in the UFC. Not even close, man. Not even close. The fact that it's shallow just doesn't mean he would be a champ, man. Bro, I'm going to break down all the fighters that I think would beat Fedor Emelianenko in the top 15, man, because I think he would starch a lot of the unranked guys. Maybe not Shamil the Blob Gaziev. I think Shamil would take him and violate him, but let's get into his record first, man. He did beat a lot of good guys. This is later in his career, so we're not really going to count this, but this is where he took his first, real L over here. He got cut, and that's not really, whatever. That's like a doctor stoppage. But over here, this is when it started getting bad. He lost to Fabricio Verdum, and this is when they were talking about getting in the UFC. So when he lost to Verdum, Dana White was like, look at him now, man. He has no stock in the UFC. We don't want him anymore. And then he loses another TKO doctor stoppage. And then he gets KO'd by Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson was, middleweight champion of the UFC? Dan Henderson's not that big of a dude, and he KO'd Fedor Emelianenko. So that's really not a good look, man. But he did beat a lot of good guys. He beat Mark Hunt. He beat Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman. Who else? He beat I'm pretty sure he beat Andrei Arlovsky. He beat Andrei Arlovsky, who was UFC heavyweight champion at the time. And maybe back then, if Fedor came to the UFC, he probably could have been champ during that 2000, when he was in his prime right here, during that 2005 to 2010 era, man. He probably could have been UFC heavyweight champion. But in today's MMA, even if he was in his prime, he would be cooked, man. He would lose to Volkov. Definitely, I feel like he would lose to Volkov. Sergey, he would get KO'd by Sergey in the first round, man. He would get KO'd by Sergey in the first round. Volkov would take him to a decision, man. See, he might... Okay. Bongamin. We know Bongamin. We saw what John Jones did to him. Maybe Fedor could do that to him too, but I doubt it, man. We saw what Cyril Gane did with Sergey Spivak. I think he would have a similar performance against Fedor. I really do. Even though Sergey Spivak, really, his striking is not at the level of Fedor's at all. But Cyril Gane is one of the best strikers in the heavyweight division. One of the best strikers we've ever seen in the heavyweight division. And I think he would take Fedor to a decision, or maybe even TKO Fedor to the body or something. I really think he would. Even though I feel like Cyril Gane might get submitted. If anybody has the least chance of beating Fedor Emelianenko from all these people I'm going to state, I think it's Cyril Gane, because his ground game is just pretty weak, man. And Fedor has kind of a nasty ground game. He gets a lot of submissions, so I don't know. But I still think Cyril Gane would beat him. But let's get into... Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida would probably submit Fedor in the first or second round. He probably literally would. Unless Fedor pulls off a Curtis Blades type of thing, which I could see that happening too. I really could, but I think it's more likely that this guy, Jailton Almeida, would literally submit Fedor in the first or second round. Jailton Almeida is really good. He's one of the best grapplers in the heavyweight division. I think these couple other guys kind of edge him out in the grappling just a little bit, but Jailton Almeida is pretty underrated. He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good in the grappling. Even though the Derek Lewis fight, he just cuddled Derek Lewis for 25 minutes, man. Can you blame Jailton Almeida? I would want to cuddle Derek Lewis for 25 minutes too. Nah, I'm just playing. But he really did go out there and just cuddle with Derek Lewis for 25 minutes. But he could do the same thing to Fedor. I really think so, but I don't know. I think he would submit Fedor in the first or second round. John Jones, man. John Jones would beat Fedor Emelianenko, and I think he would finish Fedor. I really do. John Jones Come on, man. Fedor does not have a chance against Jon Jones. Like, those guys that I said before this, he might have a chance. But these upcoming guys, man, Fedor does not have a chance, man. Against Jon Jones, he doesn't have a chance. On the ground, on the striking, Jon Jones would beat him everywhere, I think. Maybe in his prime, Fedor would have gave Jon Jones one of his toughest fights. Maybe in his prime. But right now, I do not see that. Maybe, I don't know. Jon Jones is kind of an old man now. Maybe now he would beat him, but... Man, Fedor, the UFC is just a different level, man. Tom Aspinall would knock out Fedor in the first... He would rock him out in the first 2 minutes, man. It wouldn't even be close. He would knock him out like he did Sergey Pavlovich, man. It would literally be just like that. It would be over so quick. Fedor's not taking Tom Aspinall to the ground. He's not violating Tom Aspinall on the ground. He's not doing nothing to my boy Tom Aspinall, but... Yeah. Tom Aspinall knocking, he's getting a TKO in the first or second minute against Fedor. Easy, man. This is the guy who would violate Fedor Emelianenko the hardest. Jon Jones would give Fedor a tough fight, but Tom Aspinall would finish, bro. He would finish, bro. And, oh my God, man. I forgot the best fighter on this list, man. Shamil the Blob Gaziev. But just, like, looking at the top 15 heavyweights right here, I think all the fighters that I state have the best chance. Maybe even Rosenstrike and Derek Lewis have a chance against Fedor, but Fedor would submit Tai Tuivasa. He would violate everybody else, man. He really would. He would be a top 15 heavyweight. He would be. Maybe even top 10, because we have Tai Tuivasa in the top 10. But I don't know, man. What do you guys think? How good do you think Fedor Emelianenko would do in today's MMA, man? Let me know. Do you think Fedor could be a champion? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. But if you like videos like this, show me love. Leave a like, subscribe, man. Put it down in the comments, your opinion. Turn them notifications on for shit like this every day, man. I'm dropping shit like this every day. We almost at 100 subs, man. But thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one, man.